Hello class, it is your girl Liz here, back with another video. Last year I read Gavin de Becker's book, The Gift of Fear, Survival Signs That Protect Us from Violence, and honestly it had a really big impact on me, so much so that I ended up making a short film about it, which you can watch on my Poseidon Films YouTube channel, which will be linked below, and I'll have a link up there somewhere. But I ended up making a short film about a situation that I read in the book. The book, The Gift of Fear, reminds us to trust our intuitions and to follow our gut, and doing so can oftentimes protect us from violence or dangerous situations. Not fully knowing someone doesn't always lead to violence or a dangerous situation, but it can lead to money or resources lost, time wasting, it can lead to disappointment, it can lead to being taken advantage of, heartbreak, of course. And of course, like I said, the worst outcome of this is a violent or dangerous situation, or perhaps even involved with a crime or the law. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips and tools on how to vet new people that you bring into your life. Of course, for dating, but also for business partnerships, new friendships, or any kind of relationship in which you have to bring a new person into your life. Also, I do have to say this though, use these tips with caution. If you cut off every single person that's ever done something wrong out of your life, there's going to be nobody left in town. In order for these tools to be completely useful, you also have to really know yourself really well and know what you want out of, let's say, a partner, a business partner, or a friend. Once you really know that, it will be easier to utilize some of these tools in a healthy way that is not like, let's say, shrouded by paranoia, because that's not good either. Personally, I'm not someone who just gives trust to people willy-nilly. You know, some people will say they give somebody trust and then, you know, if it's up to them whether they break that trust or not. I am definitely someone that of the mindset that trust is earned over time. Also, I'll be linking the sources that I use for research for this video in the drop box below. Let's get started. Of course, the number one thing that you have to do is look them up. Now, let's say you're online dating. I mean, hopefully it's not like an online dating situation, because then you have to start doing tricky stuff. Like, for example, I was talking to someone that I was online dating, and I found out what school they went to. I actually at the time didn't realize that I could use this as a tool to find out their last name and then research them. They told me about their school and then I just remembered it. So if you feel uncomfortable asking someone about their last name because they might get suspicious if you ask that, then you just need their name, their age, and what high school they went to, and then you can look that up and then you can find their last name from there. You know, and through conversations that you've had with them, what states have they lived in? Maybe they come from somebody else, somewhere else. Maybe they grew up somewhere else. Google their name in all those states, okay? Because sometimes the way Google works, it wants to give you results that are relevant from what they think is relevant to you. You gotta Google all the states, okay? You gotta find the relevant info. And make sure you look up criminal record, charges, all these things when you start to Google their name. When I was thinking about talking this video, I'm like, oh, this is so good. But like when I'm saying it out loud, it sounds actually like super paranoid. But the reason why I feel comfortable telling you guys this is because this has happened like recently where me and like people I know, people I'm close to, Googled people and they found things that's like, whoa, like holy crap. I'm so glad that I looked this up and that I knew this. For example, I talked about this on my live stream, but somebody I know started talking to this guy and the guy was really interested, giving a lot of attention, texting, calling, let's go out, let's do this, and all these kinds of things. He was just very like intense and intentional with his actions. And so she ended up looking him up and seeing that So she's thirsty. Dang, girl, you done drank half the water in Florida. She ended up looking the guy up and he had semi-recent domestic battery charges. It's a hard place to be in because maybe in the future at some point he would have told her about it and it would have come out naturally because, once you get to know somebody, you talk about yourself, but it's just certain things. Basically, once she saw that, she felt very uncomfortable around him and she started to distance herself from him. And so a mutual person that they know had just like, I guess, a regular friendship or whatever with him. And he ended up getting like super upset at this person for something that wasn't really, let's just say it wasn't warranted. And he had like a huge, like, raging, angry reaction. Based on these charges, this guy this guy clearly had some kind of anger issue. I wouldn't say that when you find out these things, use them to write off people completely, but at least you can have your antennas up and you can be aware of the situation or whatnot. Also, of course, when you Google somebody, you can see their LinkedIn, you might be able to see their Instagram, you might be able to see their Facebook. It can give you a lot of information, but if you want to have the drop on people, I suggest doing it in a subtle way, because if you just say outright, hey, what's your Instagram? Hey, what's your last name? Hey, what's your Facebook? Then they're going to know what's going on, or at least they might ask you for yours. And like personally, I will tell guys straight up, like they'll ask for my Instagram and I'll say, no, I'm sorry. Like I don't give my Instagram out to people that I've just met, because Instagram has a lot of information, you know what I mean? I don't want somebody to just start making opinions about me based off of my Instagram, or just know certain things about me, my lifestyle, or whatnot. So I usually don't give out any of that information at all. Also, I had a situation recently where I was talking to someone who, when I looked him up, it turns out that he was actually married, based off the information that I found that his spouse was trying to have the divorce finalized, and that either he wasn't appearing or he wasn't signing the paperwork, and they were basically trying to get a default judgment against him on, I think, like 3 different occasions. If you're married, you should tell somebody that pretty early on. That's not some kind of intel that someone should have to earn or learn. All right, so the next tool that you can use is having an open communication and having an open early communication about how you will relate to this person. Talk early on about what you expect from this relationship, business, dating, friendship, or what have you. It's extremely important that you tell people up front or as early on as possible about what you're looking for, so that you can kind of weed out the people that don't really fit what you're looking for. Of course, it's hard to have to kind of weed people out in this way, but if you want these long-lasting dating relationships, friendships, or business partnerships, it's like you have to do this. Well, talking friendship-wise, there are people who they want a friend who, when they want to go to brunch, when they want to go out for drinks every 3 or 4 months, then they'll hit you up and then you guys can go get drinks, and then you have fun, you have a good time, and then after that you don't really talk or associate with each other. I know this because I've been on a lot of these female friendship groups that I meet online where they have like meetups and stuff like that. There's definitely a stark difference. Like there's one sector of women who are like, no, I really want to build a real friendship where we can depend on each other, where we can rely on each other, where we can go to events, where we can support each other, where we can send each other memes every day. A girl can dream, right? I mean, I do have that kind of friendship, but I'm taking applications. Anyway, there are people that have that kind of ideal, and then I'll see that they get into an argument on a thread with a person who has like a totally different idea of friendship. Oh, I don't have time to message you every day and all day, and like if I don't respond to your text, like why are you taking it personal? Like I noticed that I've changed the inflection of my voice to make it sound like that person is wrong for what they want out of a person, and I don't mean to do it like that. I guess obviously because that's not what I would personally want, but there are people like that where they just want someone to go out with every 3 months and not actually have to worry about watering the friendship, being an emotional support. Like they don't want to do that. Like they're focused on themselves or their own life or whatever. It's important for you to say that early on, instead of, let's say you want something more out of the friendship, you need more, and this person is not delivering because they can't and they also don't want to, it's good to say early on, like, oh, so like what kind of friend are you? Like, what do you like to do? And then that will give the person, oh, like, I like to be dependable. I like to look out for my friends. Like, I want to be able to just drive by your house and say, hey, I'm coming through. Say it early on what you need and what you want. If it's a business type of relationship, yeah, I really want someone who takes risks, or I want someone who's really well studied and knows the ins and outs of this particular business venture. I've talked to people about businesses. Like, I am not the like introvert, like, I'm not that person, okay? I'm like the starving, like moody, brooding artist type, right? It would be really good if I set myself up with someone who's like really outgoing and really like a sales and like a that kind of person. So like if I was looking, I would say, oh, I want someone who's like, an outgoing personality, someone who has no problem going up to people and talking to them, and someone, that would be the kind of thing that I would be looking for. And so then if I end up getting with someone who's not a go-getter, someone who's just as brooding and moody and starving as I am, then we might not be a good fit for what I'm looking for business-wise. Again, like I said in the beginning, you need to know yourself. Tool number 3, get on the phone immediately. Or, some people, they don't like talking on the phone. They like to meet up with people in person. So get on the phone or meet up with the person as soon as possible. And when you do meet up with them, listen. Listen more than you speak, okay? People will tell you exactly who they are, exactly what they believe, exactly what they want if you just and listen to them. And also, when you listen, don't just listen like with your ears, but like really listen, really dissect, break down the things that they're saying, okay, in your head. The thing is that a lot of us talk to people, we meet people, we listen, and we basically ignore red flags or we ignore incompatibility because, like, let's say if it's dating wise, we really are just like super attracted to the person. Or like if it's work-wise, business-wise, we see something that they have that we want, for example, and then we like pursue that person without actually getting to know them or just hopping into business with them right away, not finding out who they are. This has happened to me before as well, hopping into business with someone who ended up being super, 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 super fucking unprofessional. Or friendship-wise, we might be desperate, or we might be alone, or we might be always in the house all the time, and we're always with family, or we're always with our cat or whatever, and we actually want to go out and experience the world, and so we're willing to just like put our all into friendships or somebody that we meet right away and not actually like try to find a good fit. Like, it sounds bad to want to like chase people away right away, but no, that's really what you want to do. You really want to get people to run away from you as fast as humanly possible, as quickly as possible, because you will make way for the good, the right fit. Also, this is a big one. When you go out with this new person that you meet, how do they treat the service people? If they make a mistake, how do they deal with that? Now, we all know that tipping culture in America sucks, and we know that it's a band-aid or a coping mechanism for a larger system of lower pay for a service. However, we all know that if we go out to eat or we go out to drink, that this is part of the culture. Do they tip properly? How do they handle this type of situation is like really important. Now we're getting into some really intricate tools that you can use. Tell the person your last win and pay attention to how they react. Are they engaged? Do they want to know more? Are they congratulatory? Are they open? Are they bright-eyed? On the downside, do they say something negative immediately afterward? Do they try and one-up you? Do they try and downplay your accomplishment? And on the flip side, tell them about a failure of yours. How do they handle that? Oh, why would you do that? Like, you should have Oh, why would you do that? Like, oh, that's so dumb. Don't use these as like little tests. Like, let me test this person. Let these moments come out naturally when they come. But when they come, pay attention. Another tool, ask them about someone that they used to date in the past or someone that they used to work with in the past, a work relationship gone wrong, or talk about a friendship that they used to have that's no longer. And see how they talk about this person. Oh, that motherfucker's crazy. Oh, he's shisty. He lied. She's a crazy bitch. Like, personally, anytime I heard a guy say that his ex is a crazy bitch, when I heard the full story, I'm like, yeah. I'm like, damn, I ain't trying to agree with her or nothing, but like, she got a little bit of a point. Like, just see about how the person talks about their previous relationships that gone wrong. I think it's also really important to see if the person takes any kind of responsibility or accountability for maybe the demise of that partnership, relationship, friendship. Again, I want to reiterate that you shouldn't use these tools to like test people or play with them or manipulate them or anything like that. As you get to know somebody, these things should naturally come up. The most important thing here is listening. Listening is offensive, not offensive. It's on the offense. Listening is on the offense, okay? Listening is defensive and offensive at the same time. So the next tip is to pay attention about how a person behaves when you set a boundary. I don't like this. I need this from you. I don't like when this happens. How does a person react when you say no? And also, no is a complete sentence. Let's say somebody wants to go somewhere and it's not in your budget. Oh, well, why you? Oh, you ain't got no. No, I don't want to work with that client. I've worked with them before and they're difficult. And I don't think it's a good place for us to navigate as a business. Oh, well, we just need that check. We just need to get to the bag. Why am I saying this shit like that? But you get what I'm trying to say, right? Like, curiosity is good. I'm not saying that someone has to always agree with you or anything like that. You want someone who's curious. You say no and they become curious. Oh, you don't want to work with them? Oh, why? Oh, you need to leave? Why? If they are curious, I personally think that that's a good thing. Because that means they're invested. They want to know more. They want to know what's the reasoning why. Beware of absolutely anybody who says they don't have blank friends. I don't work with blank people. I don't date blank people, okay? These type of people, stay the fuck away from them, in my opinion. Women who say things like, I don't have female friends. That could be a whole nother video unto itself. I would also say stay away from guys who say men and women can't be friends, okay? Stuff like that is very creepy. It's very shady. And personally, it makes me feel like the guy has some kind of weird sexual fantasy with every woman that he interacts with, which is just like, ew. Ew. Now, this one should be obvious. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been this person. And I definitely think that there's one guy or maybe two guys that I can think of in my head that stopped dating me, talking to me because of this. But beware of the person that they always got some shit. They always got some shit going on. Lots of drama, lots of issues, problems with this and that person. Their car broke down. Their job cut their hours. Their mom's on the 6th marriage. The siblings back on drugs. It's always something going on with this person, okay? It's always this, that. Now, everybody has problems, right? But I'm just saying, like, there are people who have not been able to come out of their orienting of themselves in the universe. Okay, that was a weird sentence. What I'm trying to say is that this might be just like personal beliefs, but it's like once you set yourself on like a track, it absolutely can be done, but it has to be an intentional, active move, right? So if you decide you're going up and you're not letting anyone deal with that, you're gonna go this way, right? But if you're falling into the drama, the mess, whatever, you're gonna go this way, right? You're gonna keep going into the mess. Yeah, mom's on her 6th marriage, siblings not getting their shit together. You don't have to be involved with that. They can disengage. Someone who has all this kind of stuff going on, you may be reaching to them at not the best point in their journey. Like, you might not need somebody in your life who's a mess. And you also have to consider that the same person might end up dragging you into stuff, triangulating you to stuff, or they might be trauma dumping on you. If you can't handle that, then it's best that you know early on as possible. And the final tool, of course, is the most important one of all: communication. Communication goes both ways. Let's say you're meeting up with this new friend and they're running late and they don't tell you that they're about to be 25 minutes, 30 minutes late. That's really inconsiderate and rude. Now, communication, let's say with a business partner, do they have debt? They don't agree with their portion of their payment. Do they not agree with the type of clients that you want to meet with? Communication is everything. It's really, really, really important. If someone's not able to just communicate clearly and openly about really basic, important things, I feel like that's something that you really should pay attention to and question about whether that's something that you want in your life. The overarching part of this whole video is about communication, telling people about who you really are, finding out who they are, listening carefully. People, they may want to get to know you better before they actually reveal the deeper part of themselves. Just make sure you're listening and listening carefully. And like I said, with some of these tools, you can perhaps help bring those conversations up when you really want to hear them. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please leave a comment, rate, and subscribe, and let me know what you think. Also, please, if you have any other tips about how to vet people, leave them in a comment below. I'll catch up with you guys in the next one. Peace!